BK and BJ save the world.
What did you go outside for?
I went to spin class at 11 this morning. Got out of bed at 10:39
Sorry,
this
11?
morning. Yeah,
10:39?
correct. I was not happy to be there.
So I'm gonna make this motion right now. I'm grasping at my
Clutching
neck.
your pearls.
I'm clutching my pearls because I couldn't. I'm having trouble believing that you are up before high noon.
What kind of fucking trash bag do you think I am?
Not a trash bag, but like an anti-vampire. Like you only
Oh,
rise at the highest of the sun.
yeah.
And also you are a vampire because then you're up late at night. Are you a trash bag? I get. All right, cool.
I'm both. I don't know. Vampires are cooler than trash bags, so we can go with that.
Historically, though, what I'm saying is, you usually, you know, you usually wake up at like 2.
It's a mechanism to get me up in the
Yeah,
morning. Not gonna lie.
I can imagine. I imagine there's like just like someone who places like a block of cement, a jackhammer next to your bed, and just kind of goes in the hopes, and it's just like nothing. Like it's almost cartoon, like
I
trying to like
mean,
there's like a symbol.
and there is literally jackhammering every day outside of this apartment. And then before here, I lived down in the village where it was just, especially during Pride Month,
Yeah.
all these fucking people would come down, and I am not. I don't. It's just, like
Are you a big fan of Pride Month? Is that universal? Just like well, I can attest to like February, right? You know that little month we have, those 28 days of glory.
it's cute.
It,
It's a
it
cute month. I
okay,
was born during that month,
nice,
so yeah.
nice.
But
It is a cute month. Um, Shortest month of the year, but you know, like
mhm.
it's cool, you know, but it's not like I feel empowered from 1 to 28. You know, like I'm. It's not like or 29 on leap years. Like I don't feel like oh, this is me, time to shine.
Yeah.
This is like you know everything. So do you feel empowered during this month? Like what are your
No, I don't know. I don't feel anything anymore. Um,
okay? So it's more of a it's more of an antisocial issue.
it's a lot of. I think it's a lot of things. A
Yeah.
lot of. Um,
Did you have
but
your Did you have your early afternoon glass of wine? Yeah.
well, hey, you know what? Actually, that's
Yeah.
well.
That, that
But
Daddy's
no,
life is fun without his bottle.
I mean, it's the Belmont Stakes. You know, I did the work that I needed to do earlier in the day, so whatever. Um, and it's Pride Month, so there's no rules.
Yeah.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws. Am I right, ladies? Ladies. Um,
Mm,
um,
God,
no, I don't
I see why you're
like,
on the other side of the road.
dude.
I
This
imagine
may
you
be
coming
rough.
up to them.
I'm like
I
half
imagine you
asleep, so
coming
we'll
up to
see.
them with that same straight face and just being like, "Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, eh, girls? Hey, gals? You look
Well,
like a gal type of guy."
it's interesting that you use that phrase though, the straight face, because I obviously don't sound stereotypically gay, and I like, in
Right.
fact, walk around with. I picked up one of these rainbow bracelets during Pride, like maybe 9 years ago, and I have this other like skull thing, whatever. But like, if I didn't wear this walking around, like girls on the street will turn around and think that I'm like following them, or like, or if I talk to someone, or if I talk to a girl at a bar, they're gonna
Uh,
be like, I have a boyfriend. I'm like, dude, I don't care if
It
you die right in front of me.
it
Get
is
out of my way. I'm trying to get to the bar, asshole.
it's difficult. It is I feel for them though because they must get approached so often by so many not great guys that they kind
Totally.
of harden themselves up. Like I have a good group of platonic girl space key friends, and they tell me all the time about how they'll walk in the streets, New York City, and like
Hey,
I
mommy.
used to think where I'm from, I used to think that like because you know being raised in Flatbush in Brooklyn,
Mhm,
the dudes would be at the corner at the bodega.
mhm.
Any girl that passed by, you usually get like a phrase that kind of sounds something like, "Hey
Oye,
queen,
mommy.
hey queen, have a beautiful day, beautiful, have a beautiful day. Hey gorgeous, hey," and like they'll ignore them and they'll be like, "All right, fuck you then, all right."
Yes, it's
Yeah, yeah,
crazy. It's
yeah,
crazy how they like it. They turn on a dime. I
yeah,
had
yeah.
that.
It
That
almost makes
happened.
you wonder, like, was it real? Like, it was. Where did love go?
I had that happen to me on 14th Street with a guy. He wasn't like trying to flirt or anything. He was just like, um, have a blessed day. Do you have any spare change? I'm like, no, sorry. He's like, faggot ass faggot. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
Jesus. All right.
yeah. Right. It just went.
All
It goes
righty.
so dark so quickly. The power of the
Yeah.
ego. I tell you, like, it'll pass by. So like, but when like, when like a white dude would see like a nice butt, like he wouldn't even like, like you're walking towards the woman, right? And as you
Mhm.
pass the woman, you do a thing where you walk about 4 steps. Any guy
Uh,
would know. And you walk about 4 or 5 steps, then you do the head turn.
I
You
see
do
it
the rubber
every
neck.
day.
You
Hmm.
neck goes on tilt. You rotate that John. And you take a look at what's going on. Black guys do it. A lot of other people like, but white guys never do it, right? So like when the
It's black
girls,
and Hispanic guys usually. What I
yeah, I
see.
always wondered why white guys never did it. Like, do they have their fill? Are they? Is it so easy for them that they never have to like really like lust? But like my girl space key friends would tell me,
What is he? What are you saying? Space key?
yeah, girl space key, like girl space friend.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, oh, that was your
learn
like IT coming through.
learn the jargon, nerd.
Girl, new word, friends.
Geek.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they would tell me that like they'll be like walking or like be in the park, and white guys too. They'll come up and like do the kissy face, mwah, that
Look,
and like as they pass by or be like, "Hey, you're looking great today," like. So I'm like, wow. So it is universal. Like most guys are kind of just like that. It's crazy. So when you
yeah.
come up, we're like, I would like to believe I'm okay. I can say as a fact I've never done that before, right? But I'd like to believe I'm not like that type of guy based off of the fact that I don't even think about, like first of all, my anxiety takes over so strong, I don't even think of
Yeah.
anything to say. But then secondly, I'm also been observing the game for 28 and a half years. Like I see what works and what doesn't work. And that doesn't work. Like
Yeah.
blindly approaching women don't ever work. And
Except
so
when it
like
does, though. And that's what feeds them,
that's true.
right?
True. All
Like
you need is that one.
1 out of 100.
That's true. That's all
You
you
know?
need. But
It's
like,
like that Lady Gaga thing, or whatever. Like 99 people in the room don't
yeah,
believe in you, and
yep.
then one of them sucks your dick, and it's magic, I guess. Apparently,
Was that her quote exactly?
it's yeah. It won an Oscar.
Huh.
Yeah. No, that was not the quote.
Okay, got
Are
it.
you being
Okay.
literal? No.
But she would, I don't know, like she's,
Too
have you
deadpan
seen
even for
her?
you.
Like, I don't know. She would say something like that and people would be like, oh, Gaga, yeah.
He would absolutely not say that. It's not like we wish you talk about sucking dick and then everyone be like, yes.
Right. It's like no matter what, be like, yes, queen, go ahead.
Oh.
Um,
But look,
yeah.
no, I do empathize with them. What I get annoyed at is just like, I get being like hyper vigilant, but I'm I'm just trying to get by you, to get to the bar, and you're like, you're gonna try to fully like me to me, and I'm like, I haven't touched a vagina in a quite some time.
It is it's a heavy task for a man who does not take that approach with women, you know. What's crazy too is like I will be walking and I'll be walking past a woman in the street and they have this face that they put on and I feel the stupid empathetic side of me actually feels a little bad. It's like, man, what is going on? It's also just like it's just like annoyed because like, all right, you think you're that good looking at I'm gonna but the face they put on is almost like, please don't, please don't try to like, you know, woo me
Yeah.
or like court me or something that isn't a phrase from the 19th century. Like don't try to say things that'll like, don't try to like holler at me. There you go.
There you go.
That's more current. And you just see the look on her face. I'm just like, and I glance at it because I'm just like, I see a pretty woman, but like I'm also just like, man, like, Jesus, is it that bad that like you can't even like appreciate the fact or feel comfortable walking by? And according to like my girl Space Key friends, it really is like that. It's tough.
Yeah, no, I see it a lot. It doesn't really matter where you are. Especially if you're in a city. That's kind of where it goes. But to answer your earlier thing, like I don't know. I see it more in like black and Hispanic guys, and then like fratty white guys. But for white guys, it's only when they're in a group and
Mm,
probably a little bit drunk. Well, they'll do
right.
that,
Okay.
but for the most part, like white guys and Asian guys don't do that, and I think it's like you don't even see them like wind their neck back because I think they're just like more suppressed, and then
You said
like in
depressed?
general, like obviously making a huge
You
generalization,
think
but
like
like
you said depressed or suppressed?
suppressed,
Uh,
suppressed. So like, but then you hear stories,
right. But when
later
white
where they
people
like cut women's
when
heads
white
off.
people get active, they get fucking active. So it's like
Yeah,
almost like you almost
yeah.
want them to do that because like at least
Express yourself so you don't like try to Buffalo Bill someone and put on their skin suit.
Caucasian behavior is crazy because they're
If I
so
might coin a phrase, BJ, and this is the first time you'll ever have heard this, but white people be crazy.
yeah,
I'm known for being the first one to say that.
yeah. You're pioneering that one, huh? You
Yeah,
really blazing that trail.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I want to continue by saying I just actually got off the phone with one of my best guys ever and one of your favorites, my brother. Uh,
Oh,
we were we were talking, and it's been a while since we've caught up. So we were just catching up on a few things, and we're hoping to connect at some point soon and all that stuff. But he tells me I saw this girl walking her dog. I was driving in Long Island, and
God.
I'm like, don't do it, don't say. He's like, I couldn't help it. I had to pull up. I had to pull up and see what's going on with it.
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
and I'm like, oh man, I told you about that stuff. I told him. He's like, he's got years on me, right? So I'm like, I told you about that stuff. And he's like, I had to pull up on her, at least see what's going on. I'm like, and I just picture like a skirt moment where like he's like peeled off and like he's driving the other way and like he does like a sharp U-turn. Like I'm sure he didn't because he's smoother than that.
You're
Hope
like
to God,
Tokyo
but like,
drifts right next
yeah,
door.
yeah, he does like a drift into the nearby the curve where she is. But I was like, how did it go? And he's like, well, we talked about the dog for a little bit, and there's a silence. I'm like,
Wow.
so
She didn't run away immediately. That's shocking right
I
away, though.
know, I know. It went better than I would have thought. Like I would have never tried that myself. But he's like, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. So I pulled up on her real quick, talked about the dog. Everything was cool. I'm like, well, you made that sound real gangster, but basically, you just kind of talked about the pet. I don't know if it went any further, but it got me thinking about like, how his approaches go with with women sometimes. So I'm like, maybe I should rethink it. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. You
Wait,
know,
wait,
like
wait, wait, wait. So the story just ended?
he just ended it there. That's how he is.
Mm, okay, so he edited out the part where he was like,
Mr. Mills
"Hey,
would like
hey,
to see
wanna?"
you now. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. Ugh. People are just starting to listen now. BJ's brother, um, I don't even know how to describe. He's just he seems very I don't know, very colorful in the way he approaches ladies, and he'll do it on the street, waiting in line for things. Um,
You know,
I don't know.
those are my secret trump cards, though. You know, I want to give them all out, but as the topic applies, I definitely have a few stories for him that will hopefully prove educational. Let's just put it that way. You know, we'll learn something. We'll walk away richer in mind and
At
spirit.
some point, we are going to go out, the three of us, and I just, I,
I don't know
I,
why
I
you're so gung ho to get so disgusted though. Like I
I'm
feel like
not gonna get disgusted. I'm gonna participate. This is gonna be like going to like Six Flags for me.
like
I'm
I feel
gonna
like I'm a good buffer for like because it's just like all the meta stuff, right? You have to sift through it and like you gotta get the core of what's going on.
You're
Like I
thinking
feel
about
like
this too much. You're thinking about this way too
okay,
much.
all
This is
right.
gonna be like when Run DMC collaborated with Aerosmith. It's gonna be perfect. We're gonna make great music together.
Except the song will be Run Away.
Run NOW.
Yeah, no, we were thinking of going to a cool spot over in Williamsburg soon one day to catch up, and then like we'll be hanging out more because it's summer. We're both
Yeah.
vaccinated and like hours are longer at the bar, so I'll invite you out one of these times. You'll see for yourself how this stuff goes, and he'll enjoy it too because you'll be a proper wingman for him. Anything that helps him get to the target, he is
Yeah.
all for. So I know that he's gonna enjoy it. You'll see. Look, again, I'm telling you, I'm a good buffer. I'm filtering for you. But
I'm gonna Babe Ruth this. I'm gonna call it. He's going home with someone, and I'm gonna get the assist on it.
you think you're
Yeah.
gonna send him home with like a good lady friend? You think you can accomplish that?
I'm gonna take him 90% of the way there, 95% of the way
Okay,
there.
okay.
And then after, like, if something happens after they leave, like I still consider that a win. So
So
I'll bet you $1.
it reminds me of the story, right? Um, he and I were hanging out at this bar, and we're just watching the Lakers game, and we're so into the game, we don't see that above the game, on the second floor of the outside bar that we're at, there's a table full of women, and so eventually I do look up, and a table full of women are calling us over, like waving us over and waving hello. So like when like my other two best friends and I are out, sometimes that would occur, and you just kind of roll with it. So it wasn't the very first time something like that happened. It was a large table of women, sure, but like you just kind of know, like, okay, like they're not aliens, and they're not like, they're not
Hmm.
flesh eating bacterium. So that like just flow with it and just see where it goes. It's fine, right? So so I tell my brother, I'm like, hey, you want to go up there with the table full of women and see if, and I stop there, see if
My
hyphen, because I get
my
cut off.
asshole is already clenching up. I'm already
I
like
get cut off
anticipating.
because he's like, fuck yeah, let's go up there right now. I'm like, all right.
This is like waiting for the end of these stories is like waiting for like a diagnosis. Oh my god.
So we go
Go ahead.
upstairs and we greet the women, and I'm like, hey, I'm BJ. This is my brother. We're half brothers. And like what are your names? Mine, rewind that maybe like 2 minutes or so, and we're walking up the stairs. And so like the dynamic with me going out is usually I'd have one of my best friends with me. He's like a very extrovert type of guy. Like he's a Boy Scout, he's a people's guy. He can make conversation out of nothing. I'm more of a deeper individual, and you look confused. And what's happening?
He's a Boy Scout.
He's like, he's just like that,
He's a Boy Scout, so he's outgoing at bars.
He's an outgoer, he could probably pitch a tent, he could probably he's a go-getter.
Pitch a tent? I bet I've heard they can pitch tents.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Someone's got some against the Boy Scouts of America. But
it's just a molestation here or there,
Look, it's not a round table of molesters going. How can we?
It's
a round table?
You might want to look into that a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Have I not been reading?
Yeah, they went bankrupt. They went like the way of the Catholic Church.
Everyone. Okay. Wow. I thought it was like a couple of them. I read like one or two. No. Okay. Everyone. All right. The Boy Scouts.
Allegedly, I think.
The Boy Scouts are predators.
Allegedly, as it may be. Maybe
Okay.
some Scoutmasters. Anyway.
We'll tag that with allegedly. So like yeah. Usually my friend is like the intro guy. I'm more of the guy that I get to know the girl and we just get to and I say a few funny things, but I'm not like a go-getter type of guy, right? So I'm telling my brother we're going up the stairs. I'm like, look, here's how the dynamic works. And I know you can do this because I know how you are. My brother's like a sharp dresser. He's an otherwise cool guy. And I think there's an explanation as to why the story ends how it ends, but let's just roll with it, right? So, and I'm like, look, I'm definitely Shaq. I need a Kobe, right? Like I'm more of the dunker, boom, but I need that guy that's gonna be scoring 81, that's out there just dribbling and leading us. I need you to start. I'm a good finisher. I can actually maybe do a small introduction, do it reverse. But then you have to follow up with the small talk. I'm not a small talk guy. So he's like, yeah, nah, we're cool, yeah, I got this, yeah. I'm like, we don't. So we go up the stairs and fast forward now to the current part of the story. And I'm like,
I just picture, by the way, the two of you, you coaching him is was it Anthony Anderson and that other guy when they're trying to rob the ATM in barbershop, but there's no money in it.
I feel like I make him out to be oh man, how did I forget that character's name in Friday? Oh my god. Say another goddamn motherfucking word. I swear to God. I feel like I make him out to be that guy. I forgot his name though. But yeah, no. Maybe. But we get to the table and I'm like, hey, my name's BJ, it's my brother, everything. And they're going around the table introducing themselves. At this point now, I'm tapped out. Extrovert tank has now depleted. Now all that's left is my usual, just one-liner, get to know him, keep the conversation kind of a buzz, but he's supposed to come in and say the the real stuff, So we get to we sit down and we get to talking, and and so everyone's talking about what they've been up to and everything, because this is last summer, so it's the pandemic, but the infection rate has lowered to a point where you can go out and stuff, right? So we're all talking about what we've been up to in the pandemic, what we're doing currently, yada yada. My brother goes, hey, so I got a question. So how many of y'all gained weight during the pandemic? And so the entire table, it's just And so he's like, yeah, because I actually lost a lot of weight. So I was wondering if anyone gained weight during this whole thing.
The music
and I'm
stops, record scratch.
And I just want to put my palms into my mouth and just kind of scream as high as I can. But they turn to me and I'm like, well, we're half brothers. There's a genetic gap there.
I don't know him.
Yeah, it's you don't know say.
No hablo inglés.
Yeah, just and they're like, a little bit, but like uh not not a lot. And like they're just so uncomfortable, right? And so, I have to then take over. And so the conversation kind of has to be led by me, right? At the end of the night, I didn't really connect with any of them and anything like that. And I didn't take any, I definitely didn't take anyone home, right? But I didn't really get any numbers. It wasn't like that type of thing, right? It was just a cool night. And so we're driving home and he's like, there's a little bit of silence, right? And so I'm like, yes, how much weight they gained over the pandemic. And he's like, I know, you're disappointing your brother. Man, shit. And I'm like,
He really talk like that?
you gonna he's like, well, like the thing is like, like I didn't expect a whole table full of girls. You gotta understand, like from my point of view, like I'm not, it's like out of nowhere. Like I'm there to watch the game, like maybe like one or two slim things come my way, but like I'm not expecting a table full of women out of nowhere, like come on now. And I'm like
Slim things. Slim things.
and I'm like, I get it, I understand, but I didn't say anything wrong. Like, like I'm not around a harem every night, like I'm not used to it either. And we actually just spent months in lockdown. So if anything, I'm way out of my game.
Yeah, everyone's out of practice.
He's like, I know, I really let you down, but you gotta understand, it's been hard out here. And he leaves it at that. And I'm like, nope, nope, I need more. I can't keep allowing you to do this, okay? Like, what? He's like, nah, I promise you though, next time for real, we're out here. We're gonna be out here in this bitch. We're gonna be out here. Like it's gonna be over. It's gonna be fire out here. I'm like, all right, you say that with the aggression of a man who looks like maybe like he's awakening. So I believe you. I'm gonna take you for that, and hopefully, you do kind of. And he's like, and then the thing is, to be quite honest, they were white. And I'm like, oh, what do you mean? He's like, I'm not used to it. I haven't been around white women in a long time. I'm like,
what?
I'm like, you can stop there. Like, you don't have to like. I feel like you're trying to win me over, but like, there's nothing to be won. I'm not disappointed. It's just we just had a bad night, Like it's not like they're all like our types anyway, and it would have like like it's not like you took some away from me. It was just
well, you kind of did.
He's like, nah. You gotta see it from my point of view. You gotta see it. I was supposed to be the big brother here. I'm supposed to be the big brother, and as a big brother, I'm supposed to show you how it's done. I didn't get it done, so next time it's over in these streets. It's over. We're gonna be out here. I'm like, again, I feel like you're not phrasing it correctly. I feel like you're not doing this. You're not saying it in the right way to make me feel secure about the situation. That's what I'm saying. So in the end, we go home, and it was a good night. I had fun with my older brother.
Sounds like it was a great night.
And yo,
who's fed up in here? What that mouth do?
So
anyway, ladies.
Right, it's like, who's fed up in here? Can I get your number now?
Can I get this dance? Jesus Christ!
But that's him. That's just how we roll. That's.
Oh, man.
I
won't get mad watching that. I would get annoyed, like if I didn't know him and like that. When I walk down the street,
if you're at like an adjacent table.
Yes, usually, yeah. And it's just like, all right, well, not even that. Like if he was just doing that to like someone that like I was like one of my girl space friends, I'd be like, can you get the fuck out of here?
I know it, and he's so deserved it, and he knows it. He's a very conscious man.
But I like that. That seems to be a rare thing because when I just when you see people out in the wild and it's just like,
Yeah, like they truly
ask
live
rather
by it.
than
Like they meant
yeah.
to ask that question. They think it's okay to, ask. I know what you mean. No,
Hmm.
like he actually and I are very similar. Like like he had a party today to go to. Because I was like, "Are you free today?" And he's like, "No, I have a party to go to. It's in Brooklyn." And I'm like, "Oh, cool." And he's like, "I know the question you're gonna ask. I don't know. I
What?
don't know." I'm like, I didn't I didn't I didn't ask a question. I wasn't go but I mean, I guess I was. And is the question, he said, is the question, is it gonna be ghetto and ratchet as shit? I can't answer that truthfully for you. That's
Oh,
all
well,
I
I think
say.
we know
I'm
what
like,
the
okay.
answer is.
He's like, I'm like, okay, if you don't know, then it probably will. Like, do you know what area in Brooklyn? Because it's my borough. Like, I know the areas that will like yield more positive results than others. And he's like, I don't know the address. What you mean you don't know the address? Where are you going? How do you know when to leave to arrive? He's like, well, you see what happened was
What had happened?
my this girl I know, she invited me out to a party. I was like, yeah. So I bought the ticket and I'm out here. I'm like, you bought a ticket? Like
Wait, what?
you spent money to this event that you don't know where it's at. You don't know what's gonna happen. He's like, no, I bought it. It was like reserved. I didn't spend any money on it. I'm not stupid. I'm like, I get it, but still, you don't want to end up in a situation where you're in like some area where it's like, gunshot ratio is kind of high. Like you don't want that type of situation. And he's like, I know, I know exactly why. That's why I really invite you out. If you want to come out, then yeah, but I can't guarantee it. Gotta know the question you're gonna ask. I know you. I'm like, so he knows. He knows not it doesn't stop him half
Hmm.
the time from maybe doing some of the things he does, but he knows he's a guy who likes peace and quiet. Ironically, it doesn't
What?
sound like that from the story. No, but he likes peace and quiet.
What's his
And
favorite Russian novel?
you joke, but he is a cultured man.
It
And
sounds like.
he doesn't like, he doesn't like loud or rambunctious situations. He doesn't like places where it might end up in a
Mhm.
fight. He's not a fan of,
Yeah.
like, those type of scenarios. Like he will be quick to leave. Like one time after we had hung out at a bar, we had gone to his friend's event. It wasn't like a bar, it's like a hey open bar backyard type of situation over in Bushwick. And Bushwick is like a half gentrified area, like not so much these days, but like it was like partially gentrified. So you never know.
Mhm.
It wasn't a guarantee what it was gonna be. So we
Oh
go over
yeah.
there and like it ended up being like a weird place. Like we and we both look at each other, we're like, yeah, we're gonna like this is the end of the night. We're gonna head
Yeah.
home now. It's like he
Yeah.
knows like
Bushwick is weird. I dated a guy in Bushwick for like a half a year or something like that.
it's an odd
It was
place.
where he was. It was a little dicey
Really, yeah. Well, that's the
at the
thing. Like
time.
Bushwick was known for that, but it's been
Hmm.
like changing slowly, and then the pandemic kind of regressed a lot of gentrified areas or like areas
Mm.
that were on the up and coming affluent end, right? Bushwick was one of those. Like, how long that
Yeah.
relationship lasts with that guy from the Bushwick boy?
Oh, like that was like 6 months, eight
Yeah.
months maybe. And that was like
Oh,
maybe
did you go there? Did you go
2016. I
to?
went there. I would go there all the time. Yeah.
How'd you like it?
I mean, we went to very specific places, and it was almost
Uh,
always dark when I got there, and we spent a lot of time in his apartment. So um, I couldn't tell you too
more
much
like a
about the
sound like
actual
more like
area.
a nightcap situation than like
No, 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 no. Like whenever we
there were
no,
never people
we would
around. It
go
was
out
always pitch
there.
black. Did you know who you're
No,
dating?
yeah, yeah. No, he's. I mean, I spent enough time there to know what Bushwick is like, but
Mm,
we go out to we would go to like movies and
yeah,
bars and restaurants and stuff like that. But it would be very specific places, and he would know what they were. So
good. Because I mean, like in my book. especially having been here for almost 3 decades. Like, if
Mhm.
there's a street or an avenue that I don't recognize the name of,
Mm.
that's not a good place. That means
Yeah.
that I have consciously, nor anyone in my circle has taken me, and we have not gone to that part of Brooklyn. And I've scoured Brooklyn. Like,
Yeah.
if I can't recall the avenue at this stage in my life, that's not a good place. Like, one time I had a New Year's event. My friend, it was like his birthday or something, and New Year's, he had this like event to go to, and he invited me. So like New Year's, I usually go to church with my mom and everything. So like after
Mm.
church, I was like, all right, I'll stop by, represent, show love, as as thugs would say. And so he told me the address, and I had no idea what the hell this fucking address was in Brooklyn. And
Yeah.
instantly I'm like, oh no. I'm like,
Yeah.
is this place in East New York or Bushwick? Sorry, or Brownsville? And he's like,
Ooh.
I don't know. I don't know, actually. I'm just kind of pulling up out there. I'm like, and in hindsight, why don't any of the people I know where they're going properly? And why do people just go
You
right
really
to
should know people who know where they're going geographically. Not maybe, everyone's trying to figure out where they're going in life, but at least like, oh, yeah, the party is anyway, you're gonna be there, right? And it's like, where the fuck is it?
right? You know, like like it's an app on your phone. It's just a
Yeah.
thumb press. Like you can't even do that, So, I take the chance. I take the Uber over. Turns out it was in East New York, which is probably like the last place anyone wants to be during any major holiday, especially a day like Labor Day or New Year's. It
East New
gets
York in
in
Brooklyn?
Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah. It gets kind of weird.
Mm.
So like I pull up over there, and it's just basically a warehouse. It's just a warehouse that someone has just made into like a party. I don't
Yeah, 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 yeah.
know, but here we are.
There's a lot of those places out there.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I know. And so like I'm in there, I'm like, here we go. I've known this kid for 10 years. I'm doing this for him. So,
And
I'm
his
in
last New
there.
Year's.
Yeah, right. Right. First day in the year, last day on earth. So I pull up in there, and it's just like it's heavy rap music, and like it's cool. Like I know the songs and everything,
Mhm.
but it's not my vibe,
Yeah.
and I stick out there for a little bit, but luckily he wasn't really feeling it either. So like we left after a little while. Now, after we left, I read in the news the next day that
Oh,
place
good.
actually ended up getting shot up
Mhm.
shortly after we left. Uh, that's how things happen. So it's crazy. It is crazy, but it's good to be around people who know, like, all right, this isn't for me. Like some people thirst for that.
I don't
And
get that. I don't talk to those people. Those people are the people who would have been down for that I grew up with are dead.
right, or in jail. Like the
Yeah.
people I know currently, like serving time or whatever, like those are the guys who like that type of like
Hmm.
thirst
Go
of
into a
life.
place, they're looking for a fight,
Yeah, it's
want to
like
draw blood, and
right.
it's like, why? What's wrong with you?
It's like, can't you just chill? Like I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm at such a stage where like thankfully I have enough stories, just kind of just like start a podcast on. Huh?
Hmm.
But I don't. I'm not a guy purposely looking for that. I have enough accidental mishaps happening, like like unintentional things happening to me day by day, that I would never purposely go to an event or a place where I know like this place looks murky, but I'm gonna stick around and see
Yeah.
if I could have some
It's
fun.
fun to think about as an idea, but it's like I think if we were to sum up like the lesson here, I think, and I mean, uh you can add to that, but I think it's like, you can play around in those like waters or whatever, and it sounds like your brother talks like that, but it's like he's got a good head on his shoulders at the end of the day.
I think what
you
it
know
is there's a mixture, right? Like I think
yeah.
You gotta, to be one of too much of one is to miss out on the other. I think there's something to enjoy on both ends. There's something to learn
Yeah.
on both ends, right? Like I've seen both sides and I've chosen the side that makes me feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't know how comfortable this side was until I saw a little bit of the other.
Right. And by the way, like you could probably have some fun if you decided you wanted to have like a little bit of like a, you know, I don't know, what's the right word? Like you wanted to turn up in a way that's like a little bit more like stereotypical, I guess. You could probably, if you wanted to,
Oh,
right? There's some fun to be had, right? And like for
there
me,
is. No, yeah, no,
like
definitely.
I could go out to like a drag show and get on the stage and really like, gay it up in that way. But also, like if I wanted to like go out with certain people from Boston that I grew up with, it's like, yeah, I could also have fun, and this is white people fun, I think,
Mm,
going out and like causing some property damage and fucking some shit up.
right,
I got that in me too. But
right.
like I think we both choose apartments with air conditioning
Yeah.
and being able to sleep at night.
I like being able to vote, Brendan.
Yeah.
Voting's
Yeah.
cool. I like not having to check that box on the job application, Brendan. That's pretty
Hmm.
cool. Like
Yeah.
there's some perks to being
Yeah.
the boring guy. It's there's something to being the boring guy that I don't know. You live longer.
You really do. There's more to do when you live longer. Isn't that something? We're really breaking new ground here.
Yeah. Let's try something new.
Yeah.
Let's try to live this whole life thing through. Oh
But
man.
yeah. But we're recording these during Pride month. Um and I think we'll probably have some more stories, and I'm probably gonna go on some more shit dates. And hopefully, BJ and I will hang out and get some more shit to talk about there.
Oh man, I tell you, it's almost a guarantee. I mean, I know
Oh yeah.
you're due to come out to Brooklyn one of these weekends. I feel like it'd benefit me more if I went out there to Manhattan sometimes because Brooklyn actually is kind of empty.
Mm,
It's not as full as it should be. I think over time it will be, but I
yeah.
definitely notice more activity. At least maybe on my end. I am in a quieter part of Brooklyn now.
I think you're
But
used to more like,
yeah, I think I'm used
drag
to.
racing outside of your window and like the
Yeah,
fucking
if there
Latin
isn't,
Kings are
I
hanging
guess
out.
if there isn't like a metal canister with an open fire in it and people warming their hands around it, and then like maybe people just just absolutely just like causing anarchy elsewhere with
Yeah.
graffiti and broken windows. I don't consider it a party,
We
but
should, you know what? Honestly, that's, we
you
should
want to go
have,
out there? Is
there
that
should
what?
be, no, 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 no,
Okay.
no, no.
Okay.
Um,
I saw the
but I think
epiphany.
you no, I think you just created a new segment called "Is This Normal?" With BK and BJ, where you think that that's like a normal thing to fall asleep to,
Oh,
um,
so good.
you know.
That'd be so good. There's
And
a
I
couple.
grew up with people who are like, "Oh, like a bottle of vodka a night
Yeah,
keeps the doctor away."
which is not too far off from some Ray and nephew that I
Mm-hmm.
know some family members partook in, and some friends partook in. Or no, I like that. We could
Uh-huh.
definitely start that next episode, maybe. But are you active during this? Like, is there a parade? There's a parade. There's a little thing going on.
I think it's like a virtual parade. I don't
Oh,
know. It's just I don't understand. And like they're not inviting the cops this year,
they're not. Yeah, saw
which
that.
like it's not that's I don't personally agree with that. I think it's there's plenty of good cops. There's plenty of gay cops. Most of the cops that you see, at least, or that I see in New York, are like black and Hispanic. So like they're trying to do this thing. I don't know.
It is a I guess it's just to satisfy the narrative. Gotta love
Yeah,
a
but
good
like, but
yeah,
who? Like they're doing it
the
like in
narrative.
partnership with AT&T, and then it's like, okay,
But
who are we doing
we're
any of
also
this for?
badass, but it's also,
Yeah. Like, I
Cops
don't
are
know.
big.
Like, I'm of the mind, and like we can talk about this more next time. But like, I'm of the mind where like, I don't know. I grew up in the '90s. Like, that was like the last decade before the internet, and
Yeah.
like
Oh,
it's weird. It's weird for people in my community or people who aspire to be cool or on the fringe or like know that they're like coming from like an oppressed background or come
yeah.
from an oppressed group to want to have their existence like sponsored by AT&T. Like it's a weird fucking thing. And I'm not just picking on AT&T. It's like literally everything. You see it like they put the rainbow logo and it's like, oh, Gucci cares about gay people. It's like
Right.
once a year. Like go fuck yourself. And you
Yeah.
get the same thing in
Like
February.
like all cops are bastards. Brought to you by H&M and Goldman Sachs.
Yes. And you can't get into those buildings because they're
Yeah.
guarded by cops. What are we doing? Seriously, let's go out and get fucked up and fuck each other like
Yeah,
we're
that's what I
supposed
mean
to.
by the narrative. We're not getting our ass kicked every time. Like it's not always that. But I definitely want to make this another episode. I feel like we can unpack this a lot because there's
Yeah.
a lot of history behind both of our like cultures, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
like I feel
I
like
look forward to next time we're gonna solve racism and homophobia in one episode. So be sure to tune in for that
we're gonna
because
tackle law enforcement.
yeah. Oh everyone loves that. An entertainment
No,
podcast.
we want viewers for the folks down there in Kentucky. We want you guys listening too.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, we love you. Uh,
Yeah.
Alabama, shout out. We out here. Uh,
What
and
have
like
we learned,
other,
BJ?
we learned that in the well, we learned a couple things. One, we learned that there's a way to talk to people. There's a way to I think being so much in one. Oh, the overall is being so much in one way without experiencing the other doesn't benefit either. My brother hollered at these white women like he would talk to more of like the black women or like the other women in his area. It didn't translate over so well. Mind you, what he said was universally bad. You never talk about a woman's weight. But other than that, he was also talking as if he was like saying in using the cadence that we'd usually use in our part of the hood. But it didn't translate over so well. And we didn't garner the biggest fanship that night. Right. I think there's something to be learned on both ends, just like how you've seen a rave or you see like a garage like grunge like raw hip hop party, and then you see like a commerce scene like a bar or a lounge, and you choose one or the other. But having done both, you know what you want to do. I think the lesson is there's balance in everything.
Yeah,
Wow,
I
did I
mean,
really just
good intentions are sometimes wrapped in weird packages, but
they are.
if you could get with people who have good intentions, I think you're gonna probably be able to lower your shoulders a little bit and relax.
Yeah, yeah. Choose your group wisely, you know.
Yeah, but also like yeah, it's like not everything is an either or. Like you can talk us, you don't judge people by the way they talk necessarily, but also like yeah, yeah. There's you know from growing up like who
do
the
I feel like I
no
want you
not
to I
you,
want
but
you to
like
continue because I love trapping you in these racism
no
traps.
no no
I feel like
no no. I'm saying no. I wasn't even really talking like to you specific. I'm more like talking to people like
oh
you
all
know
right.
growing up like the people who are a problem.
Right.
There's always someone who's a problem. There's always the guy who like goes into the bar and wants to start a fight. There's always the person who wants to start some shit because they got another thing going on. And you know, just don't give them the attention. Let's have a fun party this time, this summer.
You know, life. A famous philosopher, I forgot who it was. It said something like, "Life is a highway. I want to drive it." Was it all night long?
All night long.
Gimme, 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 gimme. Yeah. If you're
Yeah,
going my way,
I think that was
I want.
Dostoevsky.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was Michi, but
Mm.
it was a little bit too hopeful. I get it. Learn that, take it with you, grow from that. That's all I got for you.
We'll see you next time, kids.